Larissa, you went to the colony in Kapeysk. Tell us about it.
The first time I was very afraid of this meeting. I hadn't seen him for a year and a half before this meeting. I was afraid the prison would change him, but when I met him, I saw my son Sasha. He hadn't become resentful. He's as positive as he was before everything had happened.
What did your son tell about the colony?
He's reluctant to speak about the colony. He tends to ask more about what's happening in Crimea, in Ukraine, about friends. He's very interested in what's happening around the world. He tries not to talk about the colony. He just says, "Mom, everything's fine."
What does Sasha talk about? Do they feed them in the colony? Does he work there? Who does he spend time with?
He reads most of the time. He's now learning English in the colony. Sometimes he goes to the gym. He wants to get a job to learn some kind of specialty so that time goes faster, but they denied him those opportunities. They said that they don't need someone with the kind of criminal articles that he's been charged with.
What are you hoping for? For an exchange?
Of course we're hoping for an exchange. Sasha also has faith in Ukraine, that they won't leave him, that they will exchange him. He's an optimist in life. His spirits haven't fallen, and he is hopeful.
Back in Rostov, you gave him the books of the Ukrainian writer Ivan Franko, as I understand. What kind of books did he ask you?
I gave him Ivan Franko then. The guys collected a 3-volume book in Simferopol, and he carried all these books with him wherever he went, to Rostov and Chelyabinsk. But in Chelyabinsk, he was forced to put these books into storage because Ukrainian literature is not allowed there. But he does bring everything with him. It's hard there, of course.
What did Sasha love about Crimea? What did he enjoy doing there?
He loved Crimea very much. He liked to go hiking, traveling. He practically walked the whole of Crimea. He was studying at the Taurida National University. He finished 2 years of university before all this happened. He chose to study tourism, which is part of the geography faculty. He had actually been reinstated at the Kyiv University to continue his education long distance, but they won't allow him to do this. We're trying to push for the authorities to allow him to continue his studies, but I don't know how it will turn out. I think that unfortunately I will eventually have to leave Crimea. I've lived there all my life. Of course, it will be very difficult, but I understand Sasha will never return to Crimea.
Back then, in 2014, how did you find out that Sasha was detained? Were you keeping an eye on the situation in Crimea? What did Sasha tell you when he was captured?
Sasha was detained on May 16th in the center of the city. He was walking down the street with his friends and was detained by FSB officers. On the same day, our house was searched. He was first charged with involvement in mass riots, and then it snowballed and it turned into terrorism charges.
Did Sasha say anything about Oleg?
He didn't say much because all of the people involved in this case weren't really friends. I generally wonder how they tied everything together, because they crossed paths during the meetings that took place in 2014, but they weren't really familiar with each other. They weren't close friends.